So with that, it's a wrap for South Asia. I'll pass it on to Bassel to cover off on Middle East.
Thank you, Bhargav. In the EMEA roundup today, we had one assist event and 18 other developments. Interestingly, there's a huge development in Iraq amid a continuous political deadlock in the country. So in the Middle East, in Iraq specifically, hundreds of Iraqi demonstrators stormed the parliament building in the ultra secure green zone area in Baghdad yesterday. So the protesters actually assembled in Al Tahrir Square and forced their way into the green zone. They were actually protesting against the recent nomination of Muhammad Shia al-Sudani as a candidate for premiership by the coordination framework. The coordination framework is an Iranian-backed coalition in Iraq. So actually, most of the protesters were supporters of popular Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. The protests were amid heavy deployment of security forces and riot police who used water cannons and tear gas to repel the protesters. They were later called off by al-Sadr amid the continuous political deadlock in the country. So Iraq's political and security environment has been highly unstable for over 9 months now. Protests are likely to continue until the nomination is withdrawn by the coordination framework. And protests could escalate into other cities, which actually support the Sadrist movement, like Najaf, Dehikar, Al-Nasiriyah city, Maysan Governorate, and especially the Sadr city. So clients in Iraq, especially in Baghdad, are advised to monitor the latest political developments in the country and avoid all government buildings, crowded districts, and public squares, as there remains a risk of recurrent protests. So this is all from the Middle East today. Over to you, Sitati, to cover on Africa.
Well, thank you, Bhargav and Bassel. Today in Africa, we covered 5 developments, and the big issue is the protests against the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And yesterday, 4 protesters were killed in Uvira town, that is in South Kivu province, after they attempted to break into a warehouse operated by the UN peacekeeping mission. And similar protests took place in Butembo and Goma towns in North Kivu province on July 25th and 26th, which resulted in the death of around 17 people, including 3 UN peacekeepers. And as of yesterday, security forces were deployed in Butembo, Beni, and Goma towns in anticipation of more protests breaking out. And so in the coming days, there remains a possibility of more protests in Beni, Butembo, Goma, Uvira, as well as towns in the neighboring province of Ituri, especially Bunia and Djubu towns. And so businesses with operations in the Democratic Republic of Congo need to keep an eye on the anti-UN peacekeeping mission protests with armed groups, especially North Kivu and South Kivu provinces could take advantage of the protests and escalate the attacks. And also these protests have the potential of causing disruptions to road travel in the major cities in these provinces. So that's all we have from Africa today. Back to you, Bassel, to cover Europe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sitati. In Europe today, we had 7 developments. Actually, the continent continues to suffer from strikes, especially strikes that are concerned with cabin crew and flight attendants in several countries. So in Germany, at least 20,000 employees from Lufthansa went on strike across several airports in the country to demand a pay raise. It was called by the popular Verdi union in the country. In Spain, 2 workers' union announced that the cabin crew strike at Ryanair, which is still ongoing, will continue until January 2023 if the demands are not met. In the UK, also strikes continue, but on the But concerning Network Rail and 14 other rail companies, at least 40,000 workers from rail companies went on strike over pay dispute. The strike action was actually called by the Popular Rail, Maritime and Transport Union. This is all from the EMEA region today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bassel and Sitati. It's a wrap from us. You can reach out to us at info@apacassistance.com to know more about our services. Thank you.